So in class this week, we covered a lot, but the thing that really stood out to me was technological determinism. It starts on page 25 of our book, and honestly, of the reading, that was the most interesting thing I read. Hearing the perspectives that people have on that, and understanding that what it is that technology really changes and defines who we are and determines what we are rather than us doing that with it. As of right now in 2018, you can say the roles are reversed. We create the technology, we decide what we want the technology to be. At this point in time, the difference between us and technology, because technology is becoming way more advanced. We have vacuums that vacuum by themselves, we have cars that practically drive themselves and stuff like that. But I personally think the one thing that separates us is our ability to be able to have feelings, to be able to have emotions. And that's something that is discussed in so many movies and conversations, that's our main difference. But I do feel like someday, there's going to come a point in time where technology just takes over. And I just hope that the people during that time will understand that, we can't let it. Because me personally, when I was growing up as a child, like, I didn't have a phone in my hand. Our parents, we had one computer and we'd get like 15 minutes a day, if that, on the computer, to play games or whatever. But most of my time was spent outside. I know what it's like to live without technology. Can I do that now? Not necessarily, because I'm so dependent, especially on my phone. But I guess you can say my technology controls me, but I know what it's like to not have technology. I know that if someday I were to go on a vacation to Bora Bora and have to be without my phone, I know what to do. I know how to survive in a setting like that because I've had to before. But I do feel like in the future, like with the way kids are raised now, that they will be the ones that pioneer that new artificial intelligence when it comes to robots and stuff like that. And I just hope that they're able to understand, like, we can live life without them and we can't let them control us. We think about, we see these movies like Star Wars or, all these science fiction movies, and we think that, oh, that stuff is never going to happen, but it's actually really happening. It's a slow process, but it eventually will. Hopefully in my time, I want to be able to see it because it sounds interesting, robots doing everything for us and us not having to lift a finger. Do I think that's a lifestyle I want to live? No, but I don't ever want to say technology defines me or it changed me or anything like that. But, I do believe that there will be a generation of people that it does that to. Um, One example that I have is it's called I, Robot. It's a movie with Will Smith. I believe it came out in 2004. And I couldn't think of this example when we were in class. I thought of the concept though. I remember the concept of the movie, and it was pretty much what it's about. Basically, is these robots, and their sole purpose is to protect humans and keep them safe. But I guess Will Smith in the movie, his character is not really a big fan of it, and I guess a robot killed a person, and they're not supposed to do that, which again is a question that arises when you think about technology in the future. But back to the movie, he kind of hunts this person down and tries to figure out like what it is, and or this robot, and it turns out this robot kind of does have feelings. And I believe that's when it's going to get to this scary point. Like, if these robots are able to, you know, feel necessarily, I think it's going to be, I don't think it's going to be a good outcome. Hopefully I don't have to ever deal with it. Um, but another thing, like real life, um, Google is coming out with a technology that's like a personal assistant, but this personal assistant doesn't sound like Siri, it doesn't sound like the navigation people. It sounds like a real person talking, and I can use my phone to set up appointment. I just tell my personal assistant, "Hey, I need an appointment on Tuesday to get my hair cut. I want highlights and a deep conditioning treatment." And they'll call the beauty salon and they'll talk to them and they'll think it's a real person. And based on how, whatever way the beauty salon decides to respond, the robot or the system or whatever it is can just respond like a natural human being, like no wait time, no nothing. It's just instant. And I think that's the coolest thing in the world. But again, like going through this class and hearing the perspectives on technological determinism, I really do feel like that's something that can get pretty scary. Technology, I do believe it's here to help us, and stuff like that, but I just hope it never gets to that scary point of it controlling us to its full extent.